Welcome to today's MJ News Digest. It's the first one of the new year, January 3, 2021. How are you doing? Happy New Year. Here are today's headlines. The Times of India heal the world. Paris Jackson Life Lessons, new MJ-inspired global anthem. Michael's new chart record, and MJFam bullying needs to stop. So our first story is from the Times of India. This is interesting. Lost despair marks 2020. Let healing be the hallmark of 2021. It's an interesting article written by Shobhardi. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. I'm not going to read the whole article. It does include Michael Jackson. I'll get to that bit in a minute. But it starts off saying, in this brand new year, let's pump up the positivity and raise a glass to a beautiful 2021. Beautiful in every way, in a real way. So how can Michael Jackson help us to celebrate 2021 as a beautiful year? Well, let's have a look. So at the end, she writes, to all of those who lost loved ones and to all of our courageous frontline workers, 2020 belongs to you. We are alive thanks to you. It's a debt that can never be fully repaid. We shall go forth from this point onwards stronger, wiser, healthier. The journey has just begun. Here's to a gorgeous new year. I am singing Michael Jackson's immortal anthem as I write this. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make it a better place for you and for me. Nice one. So on to Metalhead Zone, who are continually obsessed with Paris Jackson. Michael Jackson's daughter Paris unveils what she discovered about herself in 2020. Michael Jackson's daughter and singer-model Paris Jackson uploaded a new post on her official Instagram account and revealed what she learnt about herself in 2020. So basically, Paris is asking fans to tell her their positive experiences. So it's really cool that she's reframing the negativity of 2020 into something positive. It says here, additionally, Paris shared what she learnt about herself this year. According to Paris, she learned the power of affirmations, the importance of loving herself, and every bad experience that causes growth. So she says, 2020 sucked. It's too easy. I want to hear about everyone's positive experiences and discoveries about life and themselves this year. So she's asking people to use this comment section to talk about their year and their positive experiences. And she says hers were, she discovered the power of affirmations and prayer. I said I love myself and truly meant it for the first time. That's amazing. I found that everything we go through, even pain, is necessary and causes growth. Amen to that. I found new ways to live in gratitude and to keep my eyes on my own paper. It's really good to see Paris changing the negativity of 2020 and reframing that. Good work, Paris. So on to Grunt Stuff. What a name for a website, Grunt Stuff. Jermaine Dupri producing We Are the World inspired charity song. I'm not going to read this article. It's absolutely horrendously written. I'm sorry to say that, Tina Sanders. But basically, so Jermaine Dupri is producing a charity song. It's called Change. It's been influenced by We Are the World and includes artists such as Neo, Kelly Rowland, Monica, Miguel, etc., etc. So yeah, as I said, I'm not going to read the whole article. I will link it in the description if you want to read it. But it's just good to see that Michael Jackson's We Are the World has inspired a possible new global anthem. And it's interesting because we were just talking about this the other day on MJ News Digest about whether there will be a We Are the World type of song reflecting everything that we've gone through last year. So it looks like it's happening. So on to Forbes. This is interesting. Michael Jackson has now charted hits on the Hot 100 in 7 different decades. This was published on December the 31st, New Year's Eve, and I was a bit stumped by this headline because I am absolutely awful at maths. I just cannot do figures. My brain just does not compute figures. So I thought, how the hell can Michael Jackson have had hits over 70 years? So I haven't quite worked that out. Let's see if Hugh McIntyre, who's written this article, is able to convince me. So Michael Jackson has charted hits on the Hot 100 in 7 different decades. It just seems absolutely mind-blowing to me. I can't work it out. Friends will tell you that I do not have a head for figures at all. So this week's Hot 100 is filled to the brim with Christmas favourites. New on the latest Hot 100 is the Jackson 5 Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which appears for the first time at number 46, also charted in the UK. The song is by no means new, but it does find its way to the tally 50 years after it was first released. Wow. In doing so, the most famous of the brothers manages a feat that few in history can claim. With another hit on the Hot 100 in the current decade, Jackson extends his tenure as an artist whose legacy never seems to stop expanding, even years after his passing. Because Santa Claus is Coming to Town appears on the chart when it does, as opposed to only 2 years ago, the legendary vocalist has now landed at least one new placement on the tally in each of the past 7 decades. That's too many figures there. 2 years, 7 decades. Let me just take a moment. Has now landed at least one new placement on the tally in each of the past 7 decades. Okay, so I kind of get that. 1969, I Want You Back. So that would be 1 decade. 1970s, obviously there was songs in the 70s, the 80s, 90s. I get it. Okay, I get it. So it's not 70 years, it's 7 decades. Okay. Jackson first appeared on the Hot 100 alongside his brothers as a member of the Jackson 5 in very late 1969. They wasted no time, sending their introductory smash I Want You Back first into the top 10 in December and then number 1 in early 1970. Once that track came and went, the band was off and running, and they would go on to send hits in the 70s and 80s. Obviously, when Jackson went solo, the Hot 100 hits kept on coming. His output slowed in the noughties, but he still managed to send several cuts to the charts. Since his passing in 2009, Jackson has landed just a handful of new Hot 100 placements, including at least 3 between 2010 and 2019, alongside stars like Justin Timberlake and Drake. Now he's entered yet another decade with Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which appears on the ranking dated January the 2nd, 2021, 52 years after his first smash on the ever-changing list. Wow, let's hope the hits keep on coming. I'm sure they will. So on to some serious news, I guess. This was highlighted from a tweet by Jamie Ball. This is regarding bullying within the MJFam community. Yes, it is a thing, unfortunately, and has been for quite a while. But this latest episode is bullying against Damien Shields by someone called Glitter Glove 101. We'll get onto them in a minute. So he says this disappointing comments, bullying. Apparently Glitter Glove calls Damien arrogant, disingenuous and full of it, and Jamin says that's not the Damien I know. How unprofessional for a fan club staff member. And then goes on to the fact that MJ Cast have been kind of victims of bullying as well over on Lipstick Alley. I'm going to save that for another video, but I want to concentrate just on what they're saying about Damien Shields. So this is regarding the MJJ community. Didn't even know they were still going, so that's good to know. Let's have a look at this then. So this was, I think this thread comes from the dates underneath that Pinterest button there. How can I get rid of that? The perils of recording live. Oh dear, I think Pinterest is going to come up now. Is it? Yes. Okay, let's get rid of that. You don't want to see what's in my Pinterest. So it looks like this was on the 30th of December. So it looks like that this staff member, Mickey D, who was like Glitter Glove on Twitter, is replying to another post where someone says, in my opinion, Damien Shields, who I find to be rather insufferable in some ways, dear me, is pushing a false narrative because of his noted anti-estate crusade. What? Anti-estate crusade? The only thing I can think of regarding an anti-estate crusade is the fact that Damien Shields is very vocally against the tracks that on the Michael album that aren't even Michael singing. Okay, so let's... and also this is regarding the Paul Anka songs that Michael wrote with Paul Anka. Damien revealed or uncovered research that they were written or recorded, I think written in 1980, but these fans are saying that Damien's false with that. We'll get to that in a moment. So this staff member says, I agree with you with regard to Damien Shields. He is insufferable to me as well. That's awful. The expression in Australia is that he is up himself. Meaning arrogant, disingenuous and basically full of it. That's disgusting. So this is, as I said, because they're kind of quarrelling about dates. The fans are saying it's 1983. Damien has proved that it's 1980. And so because Damien's got this proof, all of a sudden he's arrogant, disingenuous and basically full of it. Now, I don't know Damien personally. I have had contact with Damien, especially I think the last half of last year. And to me, Damien does not come across as arrogant. Not at all. Or disingenuous. or full of it. With my contact with Damien, he was very generous. He seems like a very warm person, very supportive of other projects that fans are up to, and really passionate about his own work, and obviously about Michael Jackson as well. Now, obviously, saying things like arrogance, disingenuous and all that kind of thing, this is someone's opinion, and I get that. People are entitled to their opinions, but as a staff member for a Michael Jackson fan forum, is it the Michael Jackson fan club? I think it's just a fan forum. You've got a responsibility to uphold, and I think, you know, if you want to write these kind of things, or these, it is bullying, this hate-filled opinion pieces, then maybe do that on a part of the forum that isn't public, or maybe just don't do it at all. Very bizarre. The next couple of screenshots go into more detail about how the MJ cast were kind of called out on a few things, which again is completely... but I will get to that in another video. So Jermaine goes on to say the dismissal of Damien's journalism is shocking. The anchor songs weren't recorded in '83. That fact is isolated from Damien's views on the estate. Exactly. And I think this is another thread where they're talking about the Paul Anka tracks. He then goes on to say, not only this, but Paul Anka has literally said in an interview with The View that Michael was 21 when they worked together, and that it was before Thriller and all those big hits, so it wouldn't be 1983. And also Damien uncovered proof from the copyright record. It says here, Damien flew from Australia to the US to inspect MJ's copyrights and has hundreds of pages of notes about them. He's held original DATs, cassette tapes, CDs, lyric sheets and paperwork. He's not full of it or pushing a false narrative. And these are screenshots that prove that the date of creation for Love Never Felt So Good, written by Michael and Paul Anka, was 1980. Terrible. I've had a bit of a conversation with Jermaine about this, and I feel that some of the fans, I've spoken about this before, some of the fans feel some of the fans feel that they own Michael Jackson, and that when people like Damien uncover something, or when the MJ cast get to interview great figures in Michael's life, they're incredulous that someone has managed to, I don't know, get into that kind of inner circle, or I don't know, maybe it's jealousy, I'm not sure. But whatever it is, there's no kind of defence for bullying. There certainly shouldn't be any defence for bullying in the Michael Jackson fandom. Hello Stephen, says, yeah, it's jealousy. Whatever, I'm still listening to Damien and the MJ Cast podcast. MJFam 1987, it's just dumb, not even worth your response, guys. Like MJ said, don't acknowledge ignorance. You are putting in a lot of time and work to do what you do for the fans. Exactly. A lot of sacrifice, if you like, sacrifice in their own time, family time, and also financial sacrifice. I like the fact that Damien himself hasn't responded to these tweets. I think that shows that he's a classy guy, and that he's not. He doesn't want to contribute to this. I know Damien is working on some projects. Yes, so Jermaine goes on to say, thank you so much. The truth is, we do put a lot of time, energy and sacrifice into our work, and when I go online and see people we've never spoken to slagging off our personalities in such a horrible way, it hurts. Of course it does, especially if they're in positions of authority in MJ fan clubs. Yes. Disgusting. Anyway, on to something a little bit nicer. So this is my YouTube recommendation of the day, where I search for Michael Jackson related content on YouTube in the past 24 hours. I've noticed over the last month there's been loads and loads of reaction videos. There's literally hundreds of them today, but today I'm concentrating on this. It's really cool. Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson acoustic cover by Derek Kate, and this is from the Derek Kate channel. Piers is a musician. He says, enjoy my take on Man in the Mirror, one of my favourite Michael Jackson songs. It's nice to hear a different interpretation of Man in the Mirror, and Derek does a really good job. I'll play a little bit of this now, but of course I'll link the full video in the description below. And that's it for today's MJ News Digest. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I truly appreciate it. Please like, comment and subscribe because the best is yet to come.